So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be kind of a quick update, but I wanted to get this out there. The This just came across on the news wire from CNN. Uh, Now this is I'll link the first video up here in the corner, but according to CNN and a couple district attorneys, Samuel Little, California inmate who claims to be one of the most prolific serial killers in U.S. history, has been now officially been linked to 60 deaths. A Texas prosecutor said Friday. Ector County District Attorney Bobby Bland said investigators have confirmed that Little is connected to deaths in 14 states now by DNA. Little claims to have killed people from between 1970 and 2005 in 14 states from Florida to California. Authorities had previously confirmed that he was linked to 34 killings. Little 79 is in California State Penitentiary, according to Corrections Department spokesman Vicky Waters. He is serving a life sentence for 3 murders. He has been cooperating with investigators from different states and is in bad health, Bland said in November. Little is now charged in Ector County for killing in 1994. He has been cooperating with investigators from different states and as his health has been deteriorating. Prosecutor Michael O'Malley said Little has confessed to 5 killings in Ohio alone in the last couple of months, including 3 from the Cleveland area. The cold case unit was able to identify 2 of the 3 victims from matchings from Samuel Little's DNA. Little is now charged with 4 counts of aggravated murder and 6 counts of kidnapping in the death of 21-year-old Mary Jo Payton in 1984 and 32-year-old Rose Evans in 1991, Malley said. Little was indicted on Friday in Hamilton County, Ohio, for the killings of 2 Cincinnati women in the 1980s. The FBI released these portraits by confessed serial killer Samuel Little, who claims he has killed at least 90 people. And they believe that the number may be actually higher than 90, but they're just now being able to process the DNA and match his DNA with the actual cold case files. And what makes this even more alarming was Samuel Little he lived a nomadic life. He traveled around the United States and did whatever the hell he wanted to do between 1969 and when he was finally connected and charged with murder. He had spent some time in and out of prison, but every time that they let him out, he went right back to doing exactly what he was doing beforehand. And his last case, he was in prison, and while he was in prison, he told a guard he was going to go back and he was going to do exactly what he wanted to do, and he was going to do it. And matter of fact, he killed his very next victim the same day. Not even 6 hours after he got out of the penitentiary, he had already killed again. So he had painted and has drawn so many different pictures. And the one problem that the district attorneys and different law enforcement across the United States had up until this point was he would bleed 2 or 3 different victims' stories. He would say, "Okay, I did this. I did this, and this is where I dumped them, and this is what her name was." But he didn't know their last names, only the first names. So many of them can't remember all their names, and then he would go about talking about them in that manner, and they were like, "Well, he's just making this up," and then he would know enough details about where he dumped them and how he dumped them or how he killed them. And it wasn't always the same MO. He didn't always shoot them or strangle them or stab them. He mixed it up. It was like, whatever I have handy. Oh, I have a tire iron. I'll beat this one to death with a tire iron. And, well, you know what? This one didn't do what I wanted to do, so I shot her. Or this one, I had a knife that I got from a guy on the streets in downtown Cleveland, so I stabbed the next 6 of them. He was all over the place and how he did it, and that is one of the things that really bothers criminal behavior and those who study criminals for a living is his MO is everywhere. And when he was finally caught, he was living in a homeless shelter, and he was actually that very day planning to kill that very day. He was probably they probably saved that lady's life by probably about an hour. That he was an hour away from killing his next victim. So now we're up to 60 from 34 when I did the video, up to 60 confirmed now. And as some cases they may never be able to connect him to because there's just no DNA, and the storage of evidence in those cases was not exactly what you'd call up to par. It's nowhere near what it is today. Like in 1984, if you were a rape victim or a murder victim, they just put all your belongings in a paper bag, staple it shut with your name, and a piece of paper on it, and then put it on a shelf, and maybe it went into a cardboard box later on. There was no actual real effort to preserve DNA, or we didn't know really what DNA was back then. So there's a chance that we may never, be able to connect the total 90 to him. But the FBI is now looking at this, and they really do believe that there is a chance that his actual victim count could be as high as 114 right now. Wrap your head around that. He may have killed as many as 114 women across the United States, lower 48 states. There are no victims in Hawaii or in Alaska or any of the territories. Lower 48 only. Now, I wanted to give you that update that just came across the news desk from CNN. So you stay safe out there. And if you could, try to avoid Samuel Little, or people like him, because I don't want to have to do a video about you next week. Alrighty, bye.